if you look closely at the Night of the Living Dead Blu-ray in my hand, you will realize that no, this is not the Australian Umbrella release, nor is this the Twilight Time release of the 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead, but yet it is Night of the Living Dead on a Blu-ray disc in 1080p quality, loaded with all kinds of extras. I've heard this actually called the Team Blue release before. So if you know who those guys are, if you've heard of it, I would Google that. If you're looking to purchase this, I would also Google that as well, or search around on eBay or something. Now, some people might be like, but it's a bootleg, and you're shilling bootlegs. I'm not shilling anything. I'm just talking about a release that I have in my hand that I was sent to review, and I did review it, and I figured I would come here and talk to you guys about it right now. If you want to purchase this thing, go ahead. If you don't, go ahead. Hey, it doesn't matter to me either way. This is what I've got out of it, and that's what I'm proud to have. But it is loaded with extras. This is listed there, everything that's on it. It's got the production notes, it's director Tom Savini commentary, The Dead Walk, making of featurette, original theatrical trailer, talent files, isolated music score, Night of the Living Dead work print, which is in pretty rough shape, but it is on here. Fangoria 97, The Return of Classic Dead. This is a scan, by the way, of the pages from that. Joe Bob Briggs, 1992, Night of the Living Dead reunion. Tom Savini's camcorder footage, Night of the Living Dead screenwriter George Romero. That's what it says, Night of the Living Dead screenwriter George Romero. Tom Savini Q&A, movie review with Ain't It Cool News, Siskel and Ebert reviews, Night of the Living Dead 90, and a print on the disc of the Twilight Time booklet that came with the Twilight Time edition. So you can pretty much guess what this is by looking at it, I'm sure. It contains a recolor corrected version of Night of the Living Dead 1990. It basically, I think it took the Twilight Time one and kind of messed with it to make it not look blue, which, as you all know, was the main issue with the Night of the Living Dead release from Twilight Time. And I've heard some people say it looks better than the Australian Umbrella release. I don't know. You have to tell me in the comments below if you've seen that. This does have two versions, though. Excuse me. It's got the color corrected version. You know, like I said, of Twilight Time's transfer, which, according to comparisons that are on the disc, do look better. And it's got the Voodoo HDX version as well, which is in a different ratio, and it looks pretty good too for what I've seen of it. Now, I've always been a fan of the remake of Night of the Living Dead. I've seen this before I've seen the original. I remember going to the video store and seeing the poster up on the walls for it, and I waited for it, and I got it around the time it first was released because I reserved it. You did that back then in the old days of the VHS stores, and I really liked it then, and I really like it now. I like it so much, probably, that I would put it at least top 2 for the decade 1990. I know that's saying a whole lot, but I don't know if it tops Scream, but it comes pretty close. And it does take what you know if you are familiar with the original black and white one, and it twists a lot of things around. Like, of course, it's in color instead of black and white. The character of Barbara now is not blonde and fragile. She's red-headed and pretty feisty, and after she deals with what she deals with, she kind of, gets with the program, becomes a strong lead. And, of course, we have, Tony Todd as none other than the legendary character of Ben, which I really do like his portrayal of that, by the way. The movie, some people seem to like the original a lot better than they do this one. I don't know. I've always been a fan of the original, but I like this one probably more so, I guess, than I would say that. I don't know, there's cuts, that are kind of on the work print that are not on the actual movie that maybe would have been nice there, because there's some pretty cool looking zombies and stuff. The gore is a little light though in some spots of it, but outside of that, I always liked it. And of course, you've got, the guy in the cellar, George, it's in the cellar, and there's Ben, and they got their little problems, and it goes on here, and you really realize pretty early on that just like the original, that the characters could probably have a lot better chance of making it if they worked together instead of interfought with each other, but that's kind of like how it'd probably be in the real life thing anyway. So nonetheless, it's a great movie, and this is a good release. I mean, it's got everything on it you could want on something, even though it's not, as you can see by the bear skin there, the bear skin, bare covered disc there that maybe it's not necessarily something you would want to go out of your way to get. But if you did like the film enough to go do it, I don't think you're going to be disappointed with what you get here, because it's packed with a million different things. And the guy that sells these on eBay and around like that, they have this. I have a Trick or Treat Blu-ray, the rock and roll version Trick or Treat. They have a Gate 2 Blu-ray, and they have it's a Fright Night 2 Blu-ray, and these are real solid HD transfers. Wherever they come from, however they get put together, I don't know. But I do know that from what I've heard on those, they look really, really good. And of course, I can vouch for this and say that this one looks really, really good. So if it's something you might want, maybe you don't want the imported Australian one. Maybe you don't want to pay oodles and oodles of money for the Twilight Time one that looks blue. Whichever way you feel about it, there is other options out there if you do feel the need. Although I'm not saying, condoning going and buying renegade-ish type releases. And I don't know, like I said, you can talk to the people that sell these and ask them questions if you want, because I don't know anything about that technical stuff. I just know about this release, and for what it is, it's a solid release.